Okay, we are live now. So, welcome everybody to session 7 of Gray Skies and Electric Light, my MYFAROG campaign using the coming rule set. We're missing a couple players, but that's okay. We're going to make it work anyways. So, to recap the last session, there's probably a couple details I'm probably going to forget. It's been a little while, but so the party wakes up after they all have kind of like a shared dream of seeing this like horrific creature with 3 heads, and it tells Charlotte that she will pay for breaking her oath. And when she wakes up, she's in hysterics, and everybody else can't really seem to make doesn't really kind of know what exactly is going on. But Charlotte is, you know, absolutely convinced that like she needs to do something to like make her safe. And I don't remember the exact details of what happened, but I believe that they like the party went down to the was it the oh, I remember now. They went to was it like Soleil's place to kind of try and disguise Charlotte the best they can, which didn't really work out super well. And they ended up going to Ronald's place and picking up a couple things. And then they headed down to the police station to see if they can get some answers out of their commander, Lieutenant Mayers, which they didn't really, Lieutenant Avery Mayers was out of the office at the moment, but they did find a printed copy of the document that they had found on the flash drive that Charlotte had, and as they were kind of making their way back to the their vehicle, they discovered that Charlotte had snuck into the station behind them, and it kind of raided the armory a little bit, but really only grabbing like a Kevlar vest for her protection. So they went back to their vehicle to kind of talk things over when a masked man tried to assassinate them, but was quickly stopped by Officer Springs, who incapacitated him pretty quickly. I believe it was Officer Springs. So the would-be assassin is brought to the back of the vehicle and is interrogated. It is discovered that the assassin is one of Charlotte's siblings who was working as a informant. The his name was Silas, and he basically had said that people like him and Charlotte are really the ones who are running the whole government. They are essentially like you know they are the they run the government, and that you know really they were really going to be in for a world of crap if they killed him, which incidentally he ended up killing himself by biting into like a poison capsule that was in his mouth. And not long, pretty much like not very long after that, the sorry, I'm tripping over my words like internally a little bit, but the session ended with a large red spotlight that is on top of the Citadel building, which is the seat of government, having that massive spotlight pointed onto them, and basically hearing a voice telling them to not move, that they are under arrest. And that's where we ended. So since Charlotte is not here, I will be playing her as an NPC. And I guess to a point Soleil as well, but the only person who is present would be Ronald. Well, as a player in person, Ronald. What's going through your head right now as you like hear this kind of loud alarm going off? You got this massive spotlight shining over you and your group, and hearing just kind of like hearing just like a voice over like an intercom basically saying that they're under arrest.
Yeah, Ron's gonna look around to his companions and just be like, I don't think we should comply, otherwise we're probably gonna kind of forfeit our lives over. I don't think there's any going back at this point. And he'll quickly kind of scan around to see if he sees anything approaching in his direction, or if there's any kind of possible way that he can quickly escape the predicament he's in.
Right now, the streets and the general area seem oddly calm. I guess at the moment, like whatever law enforcement is probably just getting ready to like, I guess, respond. So probably you would probably imagine, at least from your experience, it would probably, and especially since you're like right by the station, it would probably like be mere minutes before that you would be surrounded. So you really do kind of have to act quickly.
All right, he'll turn to Soleil and he'll turn to Charlotte and he'll be like, "What's the plan? Let's get moving." And I guess we're near that kind of warehouse that we'd been camping at.
It's probably.
Or is that a little bit farther away by now?
I think it's maybe about like, anyway, at the least maybe like a half hour away because remember, I think I remember Soleil living pretty close by to it.
Okay, yeah, you might be right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You're the Mythmaster. So,
Or
if there's anywhere down the street that has some sort of like side path, I'd probably start heading in that direction. But he's also going to be open to any suggestions from anyone else in the group. But that's his immediate thought is to try and get off the main pathway.
let's see. Maybe make a perception check or so. See if you can find somewhere that you could maybe hide or something. But yeah, make a perception roll for me.
All right, that's a 6 altogether. I didn't do very well.
Yeah, your heart's kind of racing, so you right now, so you're in a little bit of a panic and you can't really focus on too much. But Soleil is probably going to guide the guide the party to just kind of just basically run like hell and try and find some concealment somewhere, which would probably start like trying to like hide in some like down some side streets.
Yeah, Ron's not going to hesitate. He'll absolutely follow Belay.
And obviously Charlotte's going to be pretty close by. And let's see. Make a roll for her. Charlotte is going to, like, as you kind of like duck behind, like duck down like a side street. She's going to point out, like maybe at the end of like at the like one end of the block to your right. There is it's like a manhole cover to the sewer system and some little blockades and like traffic cones to indicate that there's like some like some maintenance going on, but there's just like an open manhole. It's probably about 30 feet away from your present location.
Yeah, I guess we'll start running towards that. Once we get to the manhole, I'll pull up my flashlight and hand it to Charlotte and kind of wait for her, I guess, to head down first. I'll kind of guard her.
Okay, so she's going to, like the group's going to head down into the dark abyss that is the sewer system, which, even though it is a pretty modern day like futuristic setting, it's pretty dark and disgusting down there. And but at least for now, you are out of sight. But you can only imagine that whatever kind of cameras that were probably on the city streets probably seen you head down that way. So you're not out of the woods yet, not by a long shot.
Yeah, Ron will kind of say to the group, we should probably keep moving, but smart thinking.
All right. So Soleil is probably going to be up front with, Charlotte probably kind of right behind her, and they just start slowly making their way down the down the you start making your way deeper into the into the sewer system, and you probably walk for a good maybe 5 minutes. You can still kind of hear above you the alarms going off, and whereas down below it's oddly not necessarily calm, but there's just still a little bit of unease for you, and after a while you find a room that is kind of just a small maintenance room, and it's probably only maybe trying to think, maybe it's 20 by 20, not
Okay.
a massive room, but there's most of the room is probably filled with various pipes and other machinery, but you make your way into that room, and Soleil's going to kind of shut the door behind them, or behind all of us. So you're now in this it's pretty well lit, and compared to the actual sewer system itself, the air is, it doesn't smell like a sewer, or at least not as badly. It's the air is there's definitely some fresh air from the above ground being forced into the room that you're in.
Nice. Ron will be kind of very glad that we found somewhere kind of secure, and he'll be like, this will have to do for now. We'll have to make a solid game plan in a bit, but for now we'll just catch our breaths and try and figure out what the hell is going on. And he'll start searching through all these bags of assorted pipes and fixtures and stuff like that.
All right. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Not really, no.
Okay. So, Soleil is being, I guess, uncharacteristically quiet, and Charlotte is kind of laying up against one of the walls on the far end. It's like, just kind of like lost in thought. And all seems calm for a little while when the silence is broken by a very loud like bang up against the metal door that you were that you had entered into.
Ron's probably gonna jump because he's not expecting this, and he's gonna whisper to the rest of them, the group, "What the hell was that?"
And pretty much like before anybody really gets a word in edgewise, the there's another loud like bang up against the door, and the you can just looking at the door you can tell like someone's trying to force their way into this room, and maybe like a minute later the door is just like forced off its hinges and just flies maybe like a good like 10 feet, and in to the room steps one person, and it's Hector. And he doesn't well actually I'm gonna turn it over to Lubin to kind of tell us what is going on with Hector right now.
Hands on your back. Holy shit. It's you guys. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think Ron and Soleil have probably stepped in front of Charlotte just to protect her as the door blew open, and it'll take them a couple seconds just to realize that it's Hector, and they'll be like, "Hector, is that you, man?"
Yeah. What the f- How did you end up here? Are you the ones that killed VIP?
We were ambushed, man. It's a long story. We have
Shit.
all the documents we can prove it to back everything we've said. Just listen, man.
Yeah, Soleil is probably gonna clue you in. Basically, says that they didn't kill Silas. Silas killed himself by poisoning himself.
It doesn't matter right now. I need to get you the hell out of here. Follow me.
Ron will just nod and look over at Charlotte and be like, "Yeah, we can trust him." But he'll still kind of be suspicious as like if Hector's kind of leading them into a trap. He's really not 100% sure that you can trust Hector right now, but he's kind of got his back up against the wall. He doesn't have a choice, so he'll trust him for now.
Okay. Yeah. Charlotte is going to kind of follow with a little bit of apprehension. Obviously, they obviously they seem to know, this Hector about. They know Hector, but assuming that Hector is wearing his mech suit, she probably kind of has, from her insider information, she probably knows about the development of the mech suit. So obviously, this guy, just by guessing that he, is taking part in the trial to test them out. So she definitely seems to be a bit more on edge than some others. So where is Hector? Where do you think Hector's going to be leading the party to?
Well, we're gonna follow the sewage system till we reach a ending point, which basically empties in kind of like a station where it's I guess collected the waste.
Like a sewage treatment station?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just follow this thing wherever it leads, and I'll try to give them cover by pointing them towards that direction and calling the rest of the mechanized squad and pointing them in a different direction.
Okay, so you were so you had others with you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. So yeah, so they like the members of your the group that you were with are kind of so you basically sent them in a different direction than where you were going.
Yeah, I'll just radio them and say, all clear in sector A.
And then you kind of hear them Roger that, in response, and they're going to be moving on to the next sector. And so you probably walk for maybe a good 5 or 10 minutes. Nothing, you don't really see or hear too much. But let's say after a while you guys kind of stop for a little bit to kind of maybe get your bearings. You've probably been walking for maybe at a faster than normal rate of speed, and also just the fumes that are in the sewer are probably starting to kind of get to you a little bit.
Yeah, I think at some point Ron's going to stop Hector and be like, "Look, man, while we're taking a break here, we found something major in Avery's office," and he'll pull out the printed copy and hand it to him, and be like,
I
"We've seen digital versions."
He's like,
Sorry.
I can't grab it with my hands because of their uh, huge like size, so I have to take off the suit. I'm gonna take off the suit. Um,
No worries,
look
man.
at him,
Even just listen. He'll start even just reading and like kind of running over it and be like, this proves all of the stuff we've been talking about. They set up the Citadel attack. Everything that's been attacked has been, kind of written down here, and you know, it goes way deeper than we thought it did.
All right, so just kind of hearing what Ron is kind of like talking about, and you kind of flip through the pages, and basically how it basically entails that the whole attack on the Citadel was really just a ploy to round up political dissidents and dispose of them. And knowing that like you know the three of you, like you remember it very well, that you took part in the executions, which obviously put a greatly scarred Soleil and Officer Springs, but it didn't seem to affect Hector at all. He just, but if you want to maybe kind of go into detail, Lubin, about how like what you think was going on through in Hector's mind as he was taking part in those executions.
he didn't feel anything at the time. It's probably intended, however, since he takes special chemicals, special medication to numb that's part of his brain responsible for empathy.
Yeah, so it's probably something that maybe Charlotte might know about. Is it's yeah, the government had basically issued basically all of their infantry personnel some type of medication that not only worked as just kind of like a stimulant to prevent fatigue, but also to just kind of numb their senses and emotions to anything that would cause them to break down like mentally. So that's essentially what was going on with Hector, is that
Yeah,
like
that's why I killed all these guys and I didn't even flinch. You guys are wondering whether I'm institutionalized or not. I'm just able to feel anything whilst I'm on these special pills.
I guess Ron's just gonna take in all these details and kind of see Hector in a new light, kind of deal, and he'll just kind of nod and be like, "I understand. It's not you. I think you're a good police officer under all that, synthesized
It's just
stuff that they've been putting into you."
they take blood tests every week. They see the levels of that chemical in my blood absent being under investigation, under inspection, and I might get into a lot of trouble. Right now I'm not taking anything right now, so you guys can relax.
Ron will nod, and you'll be like, there'll be a pretty heavy investigation if they find out you've been helping us as well, I imagine.
Yeah, so this thing does not.
Yeah, essentially, Soleil is basically gonna say, at this point, you are in the same boat as us. Like we're basically we're not part of the police anymore. We're fugitives.
But they know of you, they don't know about me.
Maybe not, but maybe
I
not.
don't
But
know for how long, but
now that you are disobeying orders and helping out fugitives, it's a pretty serious. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, if you don't come back with all of us, they might try and retest you right now. And if they see you don't have that in your system, you're going to be just as screwed as the rest of us. Pardon my pardon my speech.
I know. I'll try to take the pills after you guys are safe.
Okay, so Charlotte's kind of like Charlotte's just leaning up against the wall, and she's going to I don't remember if I don't remember if like she took back the like the flash drive that she gave to Springs, or if like,
I believe she had it. Yes.
but yeah, she's just going to just kind of walk on over and give Officer Springs that flash drive, and is like, she's pretty much just going to look you straight in the eye and just say, like, whatever happens, whatever happens, like, yeah, pretty much anything that is on this flash drive will vindicate any like conspiracy, like against the party. And pretty much not even like maybe like 5 seconds later, you hear it's like a bullet whiz by, and it like strikes Charlotte in the leg, and she falls to the ground.
I guess Ron's going to quickly try and look around, see where that bullet came from, and I guess we'll try and start dragging Charlotte out. You said you just hit her in the leg, right?
It hit her in the leg, and let's see. I gotta roll for rolled for damage. She took 11 damage, which is a pretty hefty chunk of her HP,
Yeah, that's not good.
and that's gonna be definitely enough for a crit. Let's see. 17. That is, let's see. Yeah, it's a. This is. I rolled a 1. This is staggered by strike. We're stunned for D3 rounds, which is going to be just a. I think that's a. It's just a. It's just a D6 divided by 2, right? So that would be like a single round or something.
I think so, yeah.
For her, the cut. Oh. That's not good. There's that table. There. And of course it's not. Of course that's not loading. I gotta find the cut and nope. Find my cut and shock table. Oh, here it is. Let's see. 8 minus. That's a serious bleeding for her. So she's gonna lose 1 HP every round. And shock, that is 9, 13 minus 6. I gotta find my. Where's my. Not good at doing. Not always great at doing like math in my head, but it's a. So for some reason, like just by sheer luck, she doesn't get any additional shock. But yeah, she took a bullet to like the upper leg, and I think like it's like the inner thigh. There's like a major artery, and it's like strikes her right there, and she's immediately starts bleeding quite heavily. And if you look down, because you kind of like stopped at kind of like a, it's kind of like a T, like kind of like intersection or something, whatever you would call it. You've stopped right there, and you look down that hall, and you see Hector's unit had circled back, and now they've spotted the group. There's about, let's see, how many of them? There's about 6 of them, and they're all pretty heavily pretty heavily armored. So I guess
How far away?
I'd say they're probably about, let's see. They're maybe about like 50 feet away.
they're in range. Shoot. If they decide to, but they already did, so probably they will, huh? Let's see. So is that everything?
I guess have everybody roll initiatives.
Okay.
If you would, I mean, if you'd like to engage, or if you just want to try and run away, but that's up to
Ron's just gonna probably see how bad Charlotte's bleeding, and he's gonna know immediately this is not gonna be a good situation.
Still have a few
And he'll
minutes.
look up at Soleil. Yeah, she's got a few
The
minutes.
femoral
maybe
artery
at
is
most.
really, yeah, the femoral artery is really like
Yeah.
bleeds a
He'll
lot.
look up at Soleil, and Soleil will probably be kind of sharing the same look he's got, and
yeah.
we'll look over at Hector, and we'll just be like, guys, I don't know if we should stick around here.
Yeah.
And he'll look down at kind of poor Charlotte bleeding out on the ground, and I don't know.
Yeah, and she like pretty much. It doesn't take very long. Like she's already looking very pale, like from all the blood loss. But
Well, I'm gonna take my well, I rolled a 5 on the initiative, but I'm using a grenade, explosive one that I'd like to use.
okay, so it's just like a hand grenade or something.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that has inside of it lots of little pieces. It's like
A
explodes and
fragmentation
shoots
grenade.
like fragmentation one, yeah, whatever. I don't know what it's called, but that's the one I have, so I think I'll use that to slow the unit behind us down.
Okay.
And that's kind of my ideal action for the round.
All right. Let's see. I gotta run the. I gotta roll the initiatives for the like the 6 guys that were in your unit. So I'm just gonna roll them. Roll them on a dice roller because just be more convenient for me. So you rolled a 5, you said?
Yeah, that's without mods. I think
So that's
Victor is pretty fast. I think he has a dex +1, so it's probably like a 6. And let me just check because I have his character sheet here to give you the right number. Yeah, he has a +1 to dex. He is very nimble, very agile. He has a +1 to this roll, so it's 6. And I don't know, does the grenade give you initiative, or is it like just not?
I don't think that it gives you an initiative mod.
Well, in that case, it's only 6.
Okay. So I don't think Soleil is going to be entering combat. I think she's going to be more interested in trying to get Charlotte to safety. But I'll probably roll for her anyway. Alright, so let's see. Yes.
I rolled a 3 plus my dexterity, so that's a 4. Just kind of pointed where but I'll be helping her as well to pull Charlotte to safety.
Yes. Yeah, Soleil rolled a 3, I believe. Yeah. And all like the people in Lubin's unit, or sorry, Hector's unit. Let's say we got a one guy got a 10. 3, 4, B, and B6. Let's see. 7 is long. 7, 7, 6. Oh. And Hector rolled a 5, right?
6.
A 6. Okay, so. So yeah, we got. One guy. Pretty much every one of the people in Hector's unit was going to technically act first, but we have like 4 people acting at the same time, and that includes Hector. I'm gonna say the one guy who shot who shot Charlotte. That was his turn, and then we got like two other guys, and then I'm gonna have Hector roll his grenade throw.
How accurate I throw it. I try to do it in the middle of all of them.
Okay, so
What mods do I do for this? Is it like missile? I guess
I'd say it's a missile attack, but we'll
Good,
cross
'cause
that
I'm
bridge. We'll cross that
character
bridge
rolled
whenever
like that.
we get there.
Well, I got a modified 19.
It's a pretty good roll. So, see, the first guy, or the second guy, he misses entirely, and the third guy, he rolled a 20, and he's gonna take a shot at Hector, since he's like the out of the whole group is the only one who's he's the only one engaging actively, and he's just gonna take like one shot out of a he has a it's like a normal assault rifle, so he's just gonna take one shot at. What is your? I know you had the like your mech suit, but I don't remember exactly what the stats are. Like, I think those. I don't remember where I wrote them down. I don't know if I wrote them down on my phone or on my computer that crashed. So I don't know. I don't remember the exact stats for your mech suit. What is your AP and your DVMI?
Do you remember what type of mech suit it was?
It was mech armor.
Like I remember I specifically made like a mech. I kind of like made like a mech suit, like specifically kind of for him to kind of make the kind of like.
I remember it was somewhere in this. Where was it?
The actual mech suit is DV +8, AP 4,
AP.
MS -4, if that's the one I'm thinking.
So AP of 4.
Yeah, and the DV would be +8. If that's the one I'm thinking of, that's the one that could have programming bugs in it. But there's
Yeah,
also
that's the
a
roll.
heavy. Yeah.
Let me.
Okay, good. I got it here. Do you want me to drop that in the chat?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I
go
also
ahead.
found it. Yeah, so there's like 4 different
You
ones.
actually. So you have an AP of 4. You actually don't take any damage because your armor absorbs the bullet. So you just like hear just like a metallic ping as the bullet bounces off of your armor, and now it's technically Hector's turn now. So you said you rolled a 19.
I just saw that. Yeah, but it's not exactly 19 because it says that I get a -2 to dexterity-based skills when wearing this um, heavy mech suit. So
Maybe more like a.
it's actually gonna be 17.
I mean, either way, that's a pretty good roll. So
Some.
let's see how exactly that works. So you're just kind of try and toss it like in the middle of that, like the whole group.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the damage works for a grenade though. I could check in the cunning rules.
So fragmentation grenade is 4d8 for a 4d8 direct hit plus and then it's like a d10 like if anybody's in like a 10-foot radius of the explosion.
I reckon they are.
So I think you did pretty I think you definitely hit somebody.
And if it's like a tight space, it's
It's a pretty
devastating.
tight space. So just I'd say roll your damage, but what I'm imagining is going to happen is the grenade is going to explode and the tunnel is going to collapse.
Wow.
Either on top of them or like in front of them. So they are either crushed under the rubble or are blocked in.
That's a fragmentation grenade, right?
Yes, fragmentation grenade. It's a 4d8 for a direct hit.
Okay.
I think the
4d8.
damage is also damage is doubled for anyone hit that's indoors or inside a vehicle. So that's that's insane
48
damage.
times 2. Okay. Okay,
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4. 12 on the D8. 4d8 you said. Sorry, I rolled d6. Never mind.
As a 4d8.
D8, that's 14 times 2. That would be 28.
Yeah, that's I'd say you definitely did a number on those guys, but regardless of what damage that you did, you assume that you probably maybe killed one of them or one or two of them, and the others were probably you probably killed one or two of them directly, but the others were probably crushed under the rubble, like from the tunnel collapsing.
Yeah, they must have some really must be a very old tunnel.
Yeah, but Then
Those
you
grenades are pretty
Yeah,
explosive too.
maybe these grenades are like incredibly potent
yeah,
as
and
well.
then like obviously like there's like the whole explosion just like
Oh, sends a
rocks
wave
the
maybe. Yeah.
like rocks the whole like ground below them, and then you just feel like this rush of air as the tunnel collapses, like where they were the members of your unit were standing. So
So I killed my unit.
I'd say that's kind
Two
of
people of my unit, yeah.
a symbolic representation of your active treason, I suppose, or desertion, I suppose.
Well, I think it's only right I stand up for people that are actually just and not the ones that are trying to kill my friends. That would be an act of treason towards them.
But yeah, as you kind of like get a good look over like the rubble that you kind of created, you also are kind of like drawn to the very obvious blood trail like to your immediate right, as Soleil and Ronald kind of you know picked the ailing and honestly probably mortally wounded Charlotte up and just try to get her to safety, which they really just they maybe like kind of like ran with her maybe about like another 20 feet and kind of ducked behind a corner. But yeah, like for Ron.
Yeah,
Ronald,
that's
like,
probably fair.
but obviously, Charlotte's looking in pretty bad shape. Like
Yeah,
she
we
was
need to
already
apply pressure.
she was already kind of a like already had kind of like a darker skin tone, but it's just like with all the blood loss, she looks very pale. But what were you gonna say,
Oh, well,
Hector?
well, if anybody has a like a what is it called, like a tourniquet or like a belt or something to make sure that the bleeding is, at least if we apply pressure, it might keep her alive for a few more minutes. I don't know. I feel like
I can try healing check, but she's pretty bad.
you can try stopping the healing, I guess. The bleeding, sorry.
I mean, if you
I
want
believe in your dice roll.
I mean, if you want to roll healing, like you're absolutely free to do so.
I might, but I'm not trained, I don't think. Medicine was it, or healing, what was it?
I am trained and I have bandages. I rolled a 12. I'm just double checking what modifiers you get for that. That's intelligence. I get a +1, so that's 13 altogether.
13 altogether. Let me roll. Let me look at healing real quick. Don't have my I'm using my
Healing is +1. Result of bleeding is reduced by -1. So I think that's the severity. So that could be a medium bleed now. And she gets a +1 health, but that still might not be enough to heal her.
So what, you rolled a 13, right?
13, correct, yep.
Okay, so you heal.
Yep.
1 HP and reduce her bleeding by 1. But, still a medium bleeding. But
And she has taken at least 11 damage, so that's now 10 damage, but that's still pretty high on the health chart.
yeah,
That's like very like close to death, I guess. We can't just leave her. I guess I'll give you like time to drag her away, and maybe she can get like help from a specialist
well,
who has like
these people are looking for her. Is essentially like would be kind of well,
yeah, but they also got injured themselves. I don't know.
yeah.
If they're even like
I mean, we've bought some time, but I can't think of
Yeah.
a single doctor that would wanna get anywhere near us right now. And if they were willing to help us, we still have to get to them, and she's
how
only
much
got maybe,
how much time does she have left?
Let's see.
I mean, if we're metagaming, she probably has. She's gonna lose at least another 12 HP, I imagine, over the next. Well, 1 HP
Oh.
lost for every 6 minutes until it turns to a light bleeding. So that's 6 minutes with 6 HP, and then 1 HP lost for 10 minutes for 60 minutes. So it's another
Yeah.
6 HP over an hour. So she's got like an hour and 6 minutes at assuming she has 12 HP, which I doubt she has.
There might be
That's just
time
metagaming, but
if we manage to get out of the sewer in time. Maybe we can find like somebody who works there. They can take her. The question
imagine.
is whether
Sorry?
she'll wake up in a better place or not.
I think we should just try and keep her as comfortable as we can and hope she makes it. But I'm praying at this point.
Also, wasn't there like a thing in MYFAROG where healing only takes place after 3d6 rounds have passed or something? The effect of your healing rather than immediately.
Let me take a look.
Oh, that's an interesting point. The bleeding cause loss of HP at the end of listed time period until the bleeding stops by itself or until stop by healing. Huh. That's on 54.
54?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
That's in combat resolution, just for the actual cut effects. So the bleeding causes HP loss at the end of the listed time period.
Okay. So the bleeding.
So every 6 months, she's going to lose an HP.
Yeah.
And until the bleeding stops by itself or is stopped by healing. So I guess it would. Maybe that is an older edition that would. Actually, that might be in healing. Let me just triple check before I say something that's untrue.
Okay.
It takes 3d6 rounds to give healing. So it would take me 3d6 rounds to be applying that bandage. So theoretically, she could be having. Would she be having the serious bleed for those 3d6 minutes? Is probably what that's saying.
Round is 5 seconds, so it would be.
Sorry, yeah, you're correct.
So how long did you?
If you roll 3d6 and times it by rounds, then you'll see how many minutes, if even there is a minute. Because if you roll like 111, you're gonna be like really quick, right?
It's gonna take me 12 rounds to even apply all the bandaging and get her down to a medium.
Take you a minute. So basically a minute.
However, I've already done 1 round, so that it's not really gonna help. To be honest.
So a minute and 5 seconds.
So it would take.
A minute's gonna pass before you get the effect of your healing off.
So it would take you a minute to. It would take you a minute to apply all those bandages.
Yeah, so basically when we had pulled her to cover and started pulling out her packs and stuff, she was still bleeding, serious bleed that whole time.
I would.
And as Hector was coming back, I'm still trying to patch her up, but she's probably still just bleeding all over the bandages in Ron's hands, and it's just not a good scene, I imagine.
I would imagine if it takes you that long to apply all the bandages, I would regret to inform you that she's going to bleed out before that would happen.
Oh my.
Yeah, I think we're probably discussing of how we should move her and had the best thing for her and keeping her as comfortable as we can, and then Soleil's probably just gonna let us know that she's not with us, and we'll look up and Charlotte's clearly passed on.
Yeah.
And I think seeing a friend pass away, we all lose, or at least seeing one person die, we lose 1 mental health point each.
Yeah.
So
I'm at 38.
assuming we reset mental health points, I'd only be on the 1, but if we didn't, I'm at 12. So theoretically, I am stressed, and I have -1 to all my mods.